See here. All right, there we go. All right, hello everybody. Hope everybody's okay today. So I'm going to start from beginning here because I think a lot of everybody is having some issues with volume. That's my bad. I figured out what fixed the problem though. I fixed the problem. So today we are going to be talking about how you can actually get funding as a Black-owned business owner. Look, there's a lot of disadvantages you have when you're an African-American and trying to start and grow a business, even when you're trying to get capital. We're going to talk about those disadvantages. And during today's training, we're going to talk about where you can go to get money. We're going to talk about the different kind of lending options, the different kind of grants, loans, contests, all this money that's out there available specifically for minorities. And by the end of this training, you're going to know a lot of different issues, a lot of different options, even if you have credit issues, even if you don't have collateral, even if you don't think you'll qualify for funding now, that can actually work for you. So let's talk about it. Look, every business owner needs money, right? It's the one thing we all have in common. Okay, the money is out there, but as an African-American business owner, well, there's a lot of disadvantages you face with trying to be able to access that same money that a lot of other business owners are able to get more. It's more readily available. So according to Forbes, there's a number of major challenges faced by minority-owned business owners in order to get funding. And this kind of echoes something 10 years ago that came out from the Minority Business Development Agency as well. So let's dive in and talk about those challenges. First of all, in general, the level of wealth for Latino and African Americans is 11 to 16 times less than Caucasians. White business owners typically have more working capital to get their business off the ground, bottom line. So if we think about this, 11 to 16 times less is the actual net worth. And what that means is it means when you go to start a business as an African American, you have access to less money to be able to do so. Okay. And the problem is that, your network is typically full of a lot of other African Americans that have the same problem. And 75% of business owners are getting money from family and friends. So this lower net worth gives you a huge disadvantage. Now, something else is lack of access to collateral. Look, banks like to have collateral to offset their risk, okay? But lower net worth means lower home ownership, right? And fewer high-value assets as a result. So the problem is you don't have collateral like a lot of business or a lot of business lenders want you to have. And the problem with that is that typically means that they're going to give you shorter-term financing and less money. You need more money, you get less money, and you get worse terms because your payments are higher because, again, you're not able to be able to have enough collateral to offset the lender's risk. Another is poor location. Businesses owned by minorities in locations that have not traditionally been supported new businesses are not as likely to get funding. Okay, in all fairness, this can be an issue for anyone trying to get a loan for a business in a poor location. But again, we see this happen more with minorities where because of your location alone, it's harder for lenders to give you money. And there's a lot less money going into those areas that's available from federal and state grants and all these other sources where sometimes you could tap into and be able to get a lot of money that sometimes that didn't have to be paid back through grants, et cetera. So little to no credit history. Well, credit's a huge factor when it comes to getting money. And minority-owned business owners tend to have lower credit scores for all the reasons listed above, okay? Again, not my opinion. This is what all the studies show in regards to this topic. So banks and other traditional lenders are also more likely to want to do business with entrepreneurs who they already know, okay? So the problem is, again, in these situations, when you start looking at it, lower net worth, poor location, low credit history historically. The problem is that all factors are working against you when you try to get money. And it gives African-American business owners a huge disadvantage versus Caucasian business owners and our ability to get money. So let's talk about the solution. We've talked enough about the problem. And let's talk about a lot of different options that are available for you. One of which is a small business funding for Black and entrepreneurs of color, the Lemon Aid Foundation. Now, the foundation offers help to underserved communities and small businesses through the form of loans and equity investments. The foundation also intends to make grants to other charitable organizations with similar goals and missions. Entrepreneurs are required to know their business well and be prepared to share numbers and prove why they qualify for Lemon Aid when you're actually applying for this. And you can go to marcuslemonis.com/lemon-aid-foundation to be able to learn more. Okay, small business funding for Black entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of color. I think there's an extra "and" in there that there should be there. So the National Black MBA Association Scale Up Pitch Challenge. I like this because it's free money. There's a $50,000 grand prize. Second prize is $10,000. Third prize is $1,500. The People's Choice winner is $1,000. And the association says its purpose is to help newer businesses that have an African founder who maintains equal ownership. Okay. And you can go to nbmbaa.org/scale-up-pitch-challenge. So what's nice about this is that it's a challenge with these prizes being given away. So again, the nice thing here is that this is not money that actually has to be paid back. Got a bunch of comments here, so I'm going back in to make sure that I address everything. Greetings, Justin, Elizabeth, thanks for coming in, and thanks for sharing. McNeil, thanks for coming in. I appreciate that you as well. Camellia. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that. And Roshan, thank you for coming in. Thanks for sharing people into these streams as well. That means a lot. And Eric says, good video. No one likes to talk about this issue with minority-owned businesses. It's very true, especially me being Caucasians. I might be out of place. But again, this is an important topic to me because I think that minorities need the extra care and attention to be able to have access to capital. And unfortunately, a lot of the training that we found isn't out there, which is why I think it's important to at least give you the options. So let's talk about Union Bank. Love them. They tried diversity lending solutions with Union Bank. This bank's products are meant for small business owners who meet the bank's designation of minorities and are looking for loans up to $2.5 million. The bank's designation of minority matches the EEOC's. You must be a U.S. citizen. Your business cannot have annual sales over $20 million to get approved. You can get fixed rate, unsecured, or secured term loans with terms up to 7 years for UCC and equipment secured loans, loans up to 25 years for owner-occupied commercial real estate financing, variable rate, unsecured, or secured lines of credit subject to annual renewal. And you can learn about those at unionbank.com/business/lending/diversity-lending. Now, these are only a few banks in the country to have a special purpose credit program under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. I'm tripping all over my words today, so please excuse me. And their business diversity lending program is meant to empower women, minority, and veteran-owned businesses as well. I like Union Bank a lot. So we did a lot of research into this to find the absolute best sources that really specialize in minority financing, especially for African-American-owned businesses. And Union Bank was definitely one of the top. Now, they're not my favorite, and I'll talk to you about my favorites as we go on. But Union Bank has a lot of different programs that could really work for you, whether you're looking for general working capital, money for equipment, money for commercial real estate, a lot of really cool solutions. So you can also get certification through them, certification as a women business enterprise, a veteran business enterprise, and or minority business enterprise may lead to government or large corporation contracts. And you should know this as well, is that the government sets aside certain percentages of the total amount of contract dollars that are rewarded every year for minorities. So you should know about this. By going through the certification process, it makes it easier to tap into government contracts and get government contracts, because as a minority, there's 2%, 3%, sometimes 5% set aside for certain groups or certain minorities that actually make it easier for you to bid and get government contracts as well. Now, if your company is privately held and at least 51% owned by a women, veteran, or minority who is a U.S. citizen or legal resident, you can apply for WBE and or MBE certification. And you can learn more about that at unionbank.com/business/lending/diversity-lending. Okay, so, and I want to go in. I've got a lot of comments coming in. And by the way, if you're getting value from this, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the love button, share, bring other people into this so we can kind of get out there and spread the word. I have a lot of videos, so I might come back to a lot of the comments here. Just going to scan them real quick, say hello to everybody out there. A lot of you are tuning in. I have so many different comments that I don't know if I'll be able to get to everybody, but I will make sure that I get to your comments before we wrap up today. Now, this is my favorite. Accion. Business owners must be low to moderate income in order to qualify. But if everybody I've looked into that helps minority-owned businesses, especially African-American-owned businesses, this is the best organization out there. And they have a lot of cool options. So this is one you're definitely going to want to check out. And Accion has a micro-lending program meant to target low to moderate income business owners who are having a hard time accessing capital via traditional channels. Member organizations offer small business loans from $300 up to $1 million, and funding is for pre-existing businesses and startups. Now, you can learn more about from them, accion.org. You can use the money for buying inventory, buying or leasing equipment, professional expenses, hiring employees, financing any expenses involved in being an entrepreneur, basically general working capital. To qualify for a loan, you must be no more than 30 days late on any bills, loans, credit cards, or any other payment. If you are late, the total late balance must be under $3,000 that you owe, because if they don't want to give you the money be taken because you're defaulting on something else. not having any mortgage rate adjustments due to during the term of the loan, not have declared bankruptcy in the last 12 months, not have any late rent or mortgage payments in the last 12 months as well. If you meet that criteria, then there's a good chance you're able to get approved. Now, to qualify, you must also not have gone through a foreclosure in the last 24 months. Startups must have less than $3,000 in past due debt. Startups must present 2 most recent pay stubs. Startups have a business plan with a 12-month cash flow projection. I just did a training on business plans not too long ago. I think a video, I'm not even sure if it's released yet. But if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Credit Suite, we've got training on how to put together a business plan as well. And there's also a great software out there called Live Plan. I had the CEO on my podcast. I loved it quite a bit. And Live Plan makes it really easy to be able to create a business plan. And Live Plan's like super cheap. So if you need the business plan part of that, go to Live Plan. They can help you with that. And you need to have startups need to have a partner referral like SCORE, SBDC. And we talked about, again, a way earlier to get certifications. So that way it can actually be could be a referral in this case. And SCORE is free, and they offer a lot of services as well. So you got to get a partner referral from one of these sources like SCORE or SBDC. National Minority Supplier Development Council. This is a nonprofit corporate membership organization that supports minority-owned businesses. They have a grant program called the Business Consortium Fund, in which is intended to support certified minority business owners. bcfcapital.com/borrowers is where you learn more about this program. This was an interesting program as well, and one that I thought provided a lot of value. I think that's worth tuning in. Backstage Capital. They are a venture capital fund. So remember, when we talk about getting money for a business, we talk about 2 different kinds of getting money, right? We talk about being able to come in, and we talk about being able to get money from debt or equity. So debt or loans, debt are credit lines, debt are credit cards. Okay, then we've got equity is the other side of how you get money. And that's through venture capital. That's through angel investors. That's where you're going to give away exchange equity in your business to get the actual funds that you need. Now, the other thing is that you also have the third kind of money, which is grant money, which is contest, which is money that really doesn't have to be paid back. And we've talked about a lot of those options as well. So Backstage Capital is equity financing. This is coming from private investors who are going to want an exchange in ownership in your business in exchange for the actual funding. And I'm going to just go real quick, scroll through the comments here. And Don and a lot of people in the comments, guys, if you're paying attention, are giving you the links. So again, Don actually shared the Union Bank's program as well. And a lot of you are talking within this group, which is okay. That's great. I need help getting business credit. Teresa Kennedy, we can help with that as well. A client of mine mentioned okay, so it looks like a lot or reached out to Accion and they said they didn't have a program for her area. That could be too, okay, because a lot of these are geographic, so that actually might be the case, but you're not going to know until you actually take a look and see. And absolutely, Sharon, thank you for presenting this info. I appreciate that very much, and thank you all very much for sharing, for liking. Everybody's coming in and saying hello. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. And Teresa says, I have tons of people who want to purchase business credit services for me, and I need to help as a Black-owned business. Ty, please help me convert my leads to sell of your product. Well, you should let us know, Teresa. We have a lot of training that helps you actually teaches you everything you need to know to sell. As a matter of fact, if you look through our weekly training webinars that I do at 3 o'clock Eastern just for our partners, I can give you the script and our exact sales process that we use. So go back in. We just did a recent training on our sales process where I give you the entire script, everything you need to actually be able to convert those into sales. And don't forget, we've got a program called Premier Partner where you could just refer the customer to us and we do the closing. So you can reach out to your support team, go to the top right of your login in your back office and click contact us, and we'll get in touch with you about that. There's a lot of other comments and questions, and I will get back to those as well. So Backstage Capital, this is our venture capital fund. They invest in women, people of color, and LGBTQ community. Its entrepreneur investment applications are viewed on a rolling basis. They've invested in more than 150 companies led by underrepresented founders, and you can go to backstagecapital.com/apply to be able to apply for this actual VC fund. Okay, the Foundation for Business Equity. Well, their business equity initiative supports and provides funding for Black and Latino business owners. During the COVID-19 outbreak and current economic conditions, they provide an emergency fund to Black and Latino businesses in Massachusetts as well. Okay, and they also work with economic partners on loan payment deferrals. So something, again, maybe you already have financing, but you need to actually have your actual payments deferred. Well, they can actually help you with that as well. So you have definitely some good options here. They also work with economic partners, as I mentioned, on the deferral. So that can help you, even if you don't need funding, then what that can help you with is that can actually help you have payments deferred on funding that you already have. So some things to keep in mind. Rural business development grants. Available to small businesses, this program offers technical assistance and training and funding for small rural businesses. Federally recognized tribes are eligible with this as well. Smaller requests will receive higher priority. So again, you don't want to ask for too much money. You won't get the priority that you would get if you're asking for less money. Opportunity grants are limited to up to 10% of the total rural business development grant annual funding. Okay, so again, they kind of set aside specified funding, especially for minority-owned businesses. So some things to consider: rd.usda.gov/programs-services. Yeah, you just probably want to take a screenshot of this. /rural-business-development-grants. That's where you actually go. And remember, when we talk about grants, grants is in that third category, that money that doesn't have to be paid back. So we've talked about a lot of options here that are not based on you having collateral, not based on you having good credit, not based on you having consistent cash flow, all those kind of things. You can get them as a startup. So this is something you need to look into, because any of these grants that we're talking about, any of these challenges or contests, the money doesn't have to be paid back. So it's worth your time to take a look at it, take a deep dive, and actually apply. The Local Initiative Support Corporations, or ILSC. This is a nonprofit organization that aims to revitalize communities in need through its programs. It supports Black and minority-owned businesses across the country, through its small business relief grant program. And again, grants. So we're talking about more free money that doesn't actually have to be paid back. And I'm not going to give you the link because it's too complicated to even say, but I will tell you, just take a screenshot of that real quick, and that will give you the quick link of where to actually go. They also offer state-by-state mentorship and support services for small businesses as well. So some things to keep in mind there. Really good. The Local Initiative Support Corporation. I like this. This is one that took a little bit of digging to get to, but it's one that I think can definitely provide value. And here's another link to for information, especially through COVID, that you can access funding with them. SBA Community Advantage Loans. Businesses must be an underserved market. This program is designed for small business owners who might not qualify for regular financing. It encourages local mission-based lenders like nonprofit organizations to make loans up to $250,000. And the SB guarantees up to 80% of the loan. So SBA, this is the higher end of their guarantee, meaning they're guaranteeing a very high percentage of the loan to make it feasible for these banks to lend this money. So that's the high end of what they guarantee, which again simplifies the process of being able to get the financing from the bank. They're typically going to charge you interest plus 6% or whatever the prime interest rate is. And it's a good option for minority entrepreneurs who need a large amount of capital. We've talked about a lot of options today with grants and things like that. There might be less money, but again, this is one that gets you money up to $250,000. So it's definitely an option to be able to check out. Okay, government grants. Try Community Connect grants. Okay, for entrepreneurs living in or operating businesses in rural areas without internet broadband speed of 10 megabit, I don't know what Mbps is, megabytes, something like that, or more, this Department of Agriculture grant can be used to help fix that. Okay, and you can go to USDA's program, and I gave you the quick link right here, or you can apply through grants.gov. Grants.gov specializes in community and state grants. So even if you're not a minority-owned business, especially if you are, you really want to look at grants.gov. You also want to look at Grant Watch. So actually, let me clarify that. Grant Watch is for state and community grant programs. Grants.gov is for everything to do with government grants. There's a lot of stuff at grants.gov, a lot of stuff. USDA grants, rural grants, or USDA grants. There's also HUD grants available there, amongst many others. So check out grants.gov when it comes to grants, because they have a lot of general grant programs that work from the federal government. And then you also can look through grantwatch.com, and Grant Watch will actually give you a lot of community and state-based grants. So some really cool places to be able to keep an eye out for grants. So Kiva is not just for minority entrepreneurs. Their mission is to provide business capital to underserved businesses and communities. Loans are crowdfunded in increments of $25, and these loans are offered at 0% interest for up to $10,000. This is what we call a micro lender. Kiva's like in this weird category. They're a crowdfunder, they're a micro lender, they're like in a bunch of different smaller categories. But I love this 0% interest for up to $10,000. Borrowers can market their goods or services to over 1.6 million lenders around the globe. And look, I'm going to talk to you about both sides of this. If you're not underserved, if you're not struggling to get capital, if you want to give back, Kiva is a great place to be able to do so, just because the way their programs work, I like how they crowdfund and they really focus on the underserved markets. That's important to me. So this is something where you can actually put money in, and it gets into these crowdfunding pools of money that then is actually given out at 0% interest to those in need. So I shouldn't say given out because it's lent. It's just you don't have to pay interest on the money. So 0% for loans up to 10 grand. Kiva, one of probably my favorite sources for 2021. They hit all the marks for me. 0%. They're not trying to make a bunch of money, and they really focus on the underserved entrepreneur, peoples and communities that, business owners that have a hard time being able to access capital. So make sure you look at Kiva. They're one of them, and Accion are two of the better sources out there I've found. Okay, NIH Small Business Initiative Research. Okay, this is a government initiative. It's related to the small business technology transfer. Okay, one goal of this organization and programs is to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship by socially and economically disadvantaged and women-owned small businesses. 11 eligible government agencies must set aside some of their budgets so domestic businesses can engage in research and development with strong potential for technological commercialization. So what happens is they set aside money specifically for minority-owned businesses. And it helps for if you are a business that is coming in and creating new technology and really trying to get that technology to get it done and then commercialized so you can actually spread it into the world, well, then they have a lot of money that's available for that specific purpose. So it's definitely something to look into. The participant agencies are Agricultural Department, the Commerce Department's National Institute of Standards and Technology, Defense Department, Education Department, Energy Department, Department of Health and Human Services. And again, that's just why grants.gov makes so much sense. It's in the government's best interest to financially incentivize us to be able to do what we do as business owners, because that's what makes our economy tick, right? That's what gets people jobs. That's what makes the government money and taxes that they're then using to be able to pay for all the stuff that they pay for. So never forget that it really makes sense on why the government wants to give out the money. And this is why SBA was founded back in 1953. SBA was founded for the specific purpose of being able to support economic growth by giving small business owners the help that we need. So make sure you look into this as well, because they're supported by a lot of government agencies. A lot of money gets put in here. If you're developing new technology, this is going to be one for you. Other participating industries include Transportation Department, Homeland Security, Environmental Protection Agency, NASA, and the National Science Foundation as well. And God bless us. Is it wise to take on part-time job to fuel a startup? Look, I think that's up to you. Okay, I did. When I started my first business, I was working while I was actually doing it. And so I think you'll have to get the money that you need to be able to do it. A lot of business owners will tell you, and I will give you a piece of advice, it takes twice as long and costs twice as much to get any project off the ground. If you always estimate double the time you think it will take and double the budget, you're probably somewhere within reason. So yeah, I think working a second job while you're actually being able to get your business off the ground makes a ton of sense. Okay, and Al says, why not offer incentives to all people? Why eliminate incentives why eliminate incentives to certain groups? Again, it just comes down, that's not me. I'm not the one that makes the decisions, but I'll tell you, it's because of disadvantages. It's because some groups, especially minorities, have a significant, huge uphill battle to get to the same level that those that are not in those minorities get to. The bottom line is that one group really has to struggle to get the same thing done that the other groups don't have to struggle to do. So these other initiatives, these other projects, how these things are out there to be able to kind of even make a slight attempt to level the playing field to make it easy for everybody to access the money they need, and be able to kind of make it easier for minority-owned businesses to not have those same struggles that they face that a lot of non-minority-owned businesses have to face. So that's exactly why I think that they do the way they do it. And Tanya says, I need help. Where did you go, Tanya? You were here. I did think about you, but then I lost your comment, but I will come back and get all of your comments again. Ara says, hey, Ty, I'm a minority-owned business owner and Credit Suite VIP partner. Well, thanks for being a partner with us. With the executive plan, will this be available as a recording? I'm watching. Yes, it will be available on YouTube. It's not in your back office because only our private trainings that I do Tuesday and 3 are in our back office, but this will be available if you want playback on YouTube. And again, if you're getting value from this, do me one favor, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the share button. That's what gets other people in here to be able to share this information. A lot of comments I'm missing, guys. A ton more comments than what I typically see. So I will go back at the end for the people that want the content and make sure that I address all of your questions and comments as well. Say credit line hybrid. This is a program we actually offer, and you do need good personal credit or a guarantor that has it. But if you have that, you can get up to $150,000 in credit lines at 0% to be able to start a business. You can get it as a startup. You need a 680 FICO score higher or a guarantor that has that. But again, you can get 0% credit lines to 150,000. A lot of these report to the business credit reporting agencies. So you're building business credit while you're accessing the financing you need, and you don't need collateral. It's unsecured to be able to get financing as well. And before I go to recap, I do want to touch upon some other things as well. We talked about a lot of financing specifically for minorities here. We specialize a lot of funding, especially for African-American owned businesses. But there's a lot of other funding outside of what we talked about today that you really should know about. You know, for example, if you have some kind of collateral or asset, or somebody around you does, stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, equipment, inventory, real estate, vehicles, that stuff can in large part be used as collateral to be able to get financing, even as a startup with no collateral or with no cash flow verification, and regardless of personal credit. If you have cash flow in your business, if your business is running and you have 6 months worth of cash flow, PayPal, Square, Stripe, they all offer fantastic funding options for you. If you're selling on Amazon, Amazon has 3 funding programs that work well in Seller Central. If you're an e-commerce entrepreneur, you've done more than $150,000 worth of total sales, go to creditsuite.com/inventory and look at KickFurther. KickFurther is fantastic. They'll crowdfund all the inventory you need that you sell online. So they'll actually get you the money you need to sell the products and services you sell online. That's one of my favorite sources right now. If you have consistent cash flow and you've been in business 6 months or a year, then there's merchant cash advances. There's cash flow financing. There's a lot of options for you there as well. And we have a credit line program we've been doing a lot with right now, where you can get up to $150,000. It's not based on credit. It's based on your merchant account transactions. So you can get it up to 100 grand or up to 100% with a ceiling of 100 grand of what you process a month in merchant account transaction. It's not based on consumer credit. So if you're processing regular credit card transactions, that requires no personal guarantee and reports to Experian. Now you have to give us a call or go to creditsuite.com/get funding for that specialized program. But there's a bunch of extra options I wanted to throw in that are not specifically for minorities, but again, are other funding options that could work for you in 2021. And if you want to learn even more, we're doing a special presentation next month on 50 different types of financing you can qualify for. We've never done anything like this. Matter of fact, it's so big, the slide deck's so big, we couldn't email it back and forth. We had to go through all these elaborate processes to move it back and forth. And I think I'm going to go 3 hours. 3-hour training going through every single type of funding option that I think could work for you in 2021. So if you want to get on our list for that, you can go to creditsuite.com/27 ways. That's creditsuite.com/27 ways and grab our guide for 27 ways to get financing. Once you enroll for that, you'll get it on our email list, and we give you all kinds of tips and tactics to get money through email. But the nice thing about that is we will notify you when we go live next month. And we actually do this 3-hour training. And we have a funding challenge coming up in March where we're bringing 20 different investors, lenders, all kinds of professionals into a private Facebook group. It's called Funding 30 Challenge. And it's all about giving you options that will help you get money for your business, actually putting you in touch with the sources that want to give you money. So again, you can access all of that by getting on our email list at creditsuite.com/27 ways. So to recap, entrepreneurs who are members of minority groups can have trouble getting funding. Okay, banks right now can be less likely to loan to entrepreneurs, especially with all that's happened with COVID. And a lot of the banks are tied up with PPP loans right now, not other SBA loans. But there are grants and loans out there for entrepreneurs who are Black, people of color, minority-owned businesses, including women, including veterans, a lot of which we didn't cover today. So some things to keep in mind. Now, if we can help you along the way, get in touch. Okay, we specialize in getting funding for business. We work with over 1,000 different funding sources. We never charge you a dime of money to get you funding. Don't get me wrong, you'll pay interest rates and fees and stuff like that to the lenders, or we negotiate that to get that cheaper for you. But like having us as a resource for free to help you, our whole goal is just to know as much about all these kind of funding programs as we can and help guide you to the right sources that can actually help you get funding. And again, you never pay any money to us, and we'll help you even graduate to SBA loans. So all you have to do is give us a call, 877-600-2487. You can get approved at creditsuite.com/get funding. If you got value, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the share button. And don't forget that Tuesday and Thursday at 1, 11 o'clock on Wednesday, we are live right here. We go live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope. Periscope and on LinkedIn. If you want to access our social channels, go to the top right of our page, creditsuite.com, and you can access all of those and our podcast, the Business Credit Financing Show. And on our podcast, we have over 400 episodes, over 400,000 downloads. So I'm telling you that so you can understand how many people are actually downloading and how many people are tuning in. And we have all kinds of experts that come in and teach you all kinds of things about entrepreneurship and business ownership that will help you get a business off the ground and grow it to become successful. So make sure you check that out as well. I'm going to go back to see if I missed any comments. I'm going to hang around here and answer any questions that you have. A lot of people are coming in. Thank you all for tuning in and throwing out a hello to me today. I really appreciate that. So I just want to come in and make sure that there are anything that I should be answering. Absolutely sharing. Okay, Accion.org. Okay, I guess is back. Raving junk removal entrepreneur. Man, I love it. You were here yesterday too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Client mentioned Rich. Okay, we talked about that. Marcus Lamonis, the prophet, and Don shared that link in the Facebook feed. How can I share this? You should be able to share it just on Facebook. There should be a share button that you actually have access to. And Don, I appreciate you sharing all the links that I talked about today in the actual chat. That makes it easy. Ty Edwards, I realize it's because he's streaming from a closed group. Only members can see it. So here's where we stream from, just so you know. If you want to engage, this is what happens. There's a lot of places. If you go to creditsuite.com and you look at our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, you can engage through comments. But we go to all other kind of people's groups too. And our own groups, our own YouTube channel and Periscope, we only have so many platforms we can pull in comments from. So that's why you might not be able to share, et cetera, as from a closed group, as somebody just mentioned here, through the comments. Good. God bless. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I have the VIP plan for years. Awesome. Please call so I can express to you my issues coming. You, Teresa, I don't have the ability to grab your stuff right now, but if you give us a call, 877-600-2487, we'll make sure that you get the help that you need. 877-600-2487. And sometimes, okay, so that's working. Those on simple challenges that are hurdles for us. Easy. Okay. Getting grants costs money too. Well, getting grants usually doesn't. Usually don't cost a lot of money to apply for grants. And it is free money that typically doesn't have to be back. But some sources do actually charge you for money or for grants as well. And Tanya, I need help with my startup hot dog cart. I love that. That's cool. Well, give us a call. We could talk to you about a bunch of different options that work for you and building business credit. By the way, when you do give us a call for a free consultation, there's three things that happen. First of all, we get your business credit reports for free. Okay, they cost basically $250 from the credit bureaus. We get you your Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet business credit reports at no cost. There's only one way in the world you can get them right now for free, and that's through us. And you can do that in your consultation, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com or creditsuite.com/consult. We also do a fundability assessment. We look at all the stuff that's wrong with your fundability and teach you what to fix so you can turn around and get money. And the other thing we do is we qualify you for all kinds of funding you can get right now. So if you want to know all the money you qualify for right now, we do that on that funding consultation as well. There's three ways to grab it. 877-600-2487. Call us. That's on my slide right now. Email us, info@creditsuite.com, or you can even schedule time at creditsuite.com/consult as well. So some great options for you. One of your best feelings, one of your best feeling lives I've experienced. Thanks, Ty. I appreciate it, Debbie. I've tripped over my words today, so that means a lot. And Eris says, okay, we talked about that as well. Robert, I finally decided to do something I love in bookkeeping. Will I be able to qualify for any of these grants? Yeah, absolutely. You sure can. None of these were industry specific, so you'll be fine. And even what you are doing in bookkeeping, you're still going to access a lot of funding. That's really not seen as high risk in a lot of industries, although you and I share that same thing of being in financial services. So some do look at us as high risk, but none of the ones I talked about today are industry restricted, besides some of the technology stuff that's specifically for technology companies. Some, okay, and it was already explained in the beginning. Okay, Ty, and help with funds for my Black-owned business. We talked about a lot today that can help with you. And if you give us a call or schedule a consultation, we'll talk about all the other funding that you can qualify for as well. McNeil says, are virtual tax preparers available for grants as well? Yes, you absolutely are, as long as you have a business set up. And by business, I mean you have a business set up, you have an entity set up. If you want to increase your chances of getting funding, then go to youtube.com/Credit Suite and look at our training on fundability. Do all the stuff we talk about for fundability and start building your business credit. Those make it easier to access the money that you need as well. Pierre says, my wife does hair and is in school to vet her license. Is she able to get the loans and grants she needs now? Yeah, but she's got to get the business started. The key here is to have a business. So you need to get the business set up. You need to get the phone number and the email address and the website set up. And you want to get the EIN set up. You want to go through, again, youtube.com/credit suite. Look at the fundability stuff. Set up the fundability stuff. It costs very little money to do that. And the minute that's set up, even when she's in school, Pierre, she's still going to be able to come in and get funding. But she has to have a business to get business funding. But it's pretty easy and fairly cheap to set up that business initially. And Wellbond says, and thank you, dude. I've been following and watching Credit Suite channel for a while. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody tuning in. Thanks for liking. Thanks for loving. Thanks for following. It really means a lot to me. Because this nation has been set up to keep minorities down. Veronica, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't want to get on that soapbox, but I think I've really come into the realization over the last year, embarrassingly, of the struggles that minorities have faced. And I don't know why, if that's just ignorance on my part, or maybe I've chosen to turn a blind eye. I have to still trying to do some self-discovery there, but absolutely, without a doubt, I do agree that every force has been working against a lot of minorities that have made it very difficult to be able to have the same rights as a lot of us others have had our entire lives. And so, like I said, I feel bad over the last year. I think I've come to that realization as I've ignored that for a long time. So I try to do as much as I can to help. Okay, for that 3-hour training, Wellburn, give us the date. And I'll add that the date for the 3-hour training is going to be, let me see, it's going to be a Tuesday in February. It's going to be specifically February 16th. February 16th, Tuesday, right here on the channels you're watching on, will be the 3-hour training is what we're going to call it. It's going to be 50 different funding sources. We're going to talk about fundability. We're going to talk about 50 ways you can get money. We're going to talk about business credit building. We're going to go through the whole thing in 3 hours. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do to pee in between, but I'm going to figure that out as I go. If I have to run out there real quick, I'm sure everybody can understand. Can't wait for that presentation. And Wealth Abundance says, I got approved for the EIDL, even while registered at the UPS location. Can I get the hybrid also? Yeah, you can. But again, UPS store is going to make it UPS address is going to make it harder to get some of the money that you need. Pierre says also, I want to get into business for management so that I can help her manage her company. It's cool. Is there any way that I can get loans or grants to support her business? Absolutely, you can. And I already walked through that process. You want to set up the actual business that's going to help you get funding. And Al says, yes, no disagreement there. I just don't get why certain groups are blocked from it. If this is offered to everyone, including minorities, what's the harm in offering to everyone? Again, there's too many funding sources to be able to really speak to their specific, to that specific reasoning beyond anything else I've already said in regards to that, Al. And Veronica says, Al, because this nation, okay, and I'll let you guys figure that out between it. And then Elizabeth says, hey, I appreciate your efforts. You're invited to the cookout. Hey, I missed the comments about the cookout. There's a barbecue cookout, especially if it's down here in Florida. I want information on that, Elizabeth. You need to send it to info@creditsuite.com to make sure I get invited, because I definitely am always good for a cookout. Okay, thanks for constant knowledge. I'm looking to get into the tech agriculture sector out here in Arizona. I'm looking for startup funding. Credit line hybrid's a great program for you. We talked about a lot of other programs that could work for you too. And you also want to look into USDA. USDA has a lot of funding programs, including grants, that I think you should check into. And how do I sign up for 3-hour training? We don't have the ability to sign up yet, but if you are here, right here, Tuesday, you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I will be starting the stream live at 1 o'clock Eastern on February 16th. On Tuesday. That is where it will be. And we will have a sign up for that actual webinar. As soon as that page is up, I will let you know. And Phoenix Apollo says, I'm white. Can I get a loan after getting screwed by my last business partner? Yes, you absolutely can. The funding options we talked about today might not work for you specifically, but if you give us a call or look at our YouTube channel, which you're on YouTube, we've got a bunch of other funding options that can work for you as well. And Pro Day Trader says, great explanations, great self-discovery. Thank you so much. God bless you and your family, Ty. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And okay, so it looks like Phoenix, possibly Phoenix. I think what says some other things. All right, I won't get involved in that. Thank you so much. I scheduled a consultation through your website February. Look forward to speaking to you guys. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, everybody. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. If you missed this in its entirety or missed parts of it, go back to the channel you're watching on. You're either watching on LinkedIn, you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Periscope. When I'm done, you can go back and play the recording in its entirety on that channel. Don't forget, February 16th, we are having a 3-hour training on 50 different ways you can get funding. And also don't forget, March 15th to the 19th, we will not be in any of these channels. It is a closed group where we bring in 20 investors, lenders into an environment where they're all going to be working with a closed group of entrepreneurs to help you get money as well. I will tell you about that more as we go. It's called the Funding 30 Challenge. The website will be up in the weeks to come, funding30challenge.com. So I will look forward to seeing you next week. We're talking about more cool ways to get money for your business. And Welburn says the 3-hour training on 50 different ways to get training, 1 o'clock Eastern, February 16th on the Credit Suite channel at Credit Suite. That is correct, Welburn. Thanks for sharing. Don't forget to give us a call for your free consultation. Get your business credit reports with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian for free. Being able to access all the funding that's available through a consultation will tell you what you can get now. Will help you improve your fundability. It all happens on a consultation. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Or schedule creditsuite.com/consult. If you got value, hit like, hit love, hit share. I really appreciate all of those of you that have. It really means a lot to me. And don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel you're watching. If you're on YouTube, click the bell beside subscribe and then select all. That way you'll get notified when we go live in the future. And that being said, I need to be in on that private meeting. That is the funding30challenge.com. It's funding30challenge.com. We're not, at this point, we are not going to charge money for it, but it's going to be phenomenal. It is going to be a challenge. The whole challenge is for you to pick 3 of your favorite funding options of over 30 that we're going to dive into in depth. A lot of stuff I've never even covered before, but it's not going to be me teaching. I'm not even going to be teaching. I'm going to be emceeing the event, and I'm bringing in over 20 financial experts to talk about grants, to talk about their loans, their credit lines. So you're actually going to have a chance to talk to the funding sources, and then we're going to have a separate back room where you can then go with the funding source and actually talk about funding scenarios, and you can actually put deals together. It's going to be crazy. Nothing like this has ever been done in our industry. It's called the Funding 30 Challenge, and you can go to funding30challenge.com. The website's not up yet. It will be up probably as we get into February, and that will take place March 15th through the 19th, and that will be 100% free. You're not going to have to pay to get in. We'll have a VIP level if you want some extra special perks. And if you want to be notified of all this stuff, go to creditsuite.com. There's a guide on our page. You can go to creditsuite.com/27 ways, the number 27 ways. Opt in for our free guide on 27 ways to get funding, and then you'll be on our email list. And everybody on our email list will get notified about these big live events that are coming up as well. All right, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you coming in, liking, loving, and sharing. I look forward to seeing you in our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get money for your business. Don't forget to get in touch with us for your free consultation, your free business credit reports. Have a great day.